Good evening. Welcome to week 5 of the Thongsbridge Cricket Club quiz. Friday the 1st of May. Welcome. I don't know about anyone else, but it seems like these quizzes on a Friday night are the only way that I'm knowing what day of the week it is at the minute, which is not ideal, but hopefully in the next sort of couple of weeks we'll hear some more positive news from the government and the social distancing sort of measures can be reduced slightly. We can start to slowly get back to normal. Anyway, enough about politics. I hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone's had a good week. Managing to stay as sane as possible. Again, thank you to everyone for joining last week. Another positive week. I think we brought the numbers back up to around about 140, which if you think probably in each household there's at least 2 people playing, that's sort of well over sort of 300 mark or getting close to 300, which is brilliant. For those that didn't join us last week and maybe new this week, the quiz was quite hard last week, I think. I think it was pretty tough following some feedback, listening to your comments in the group. So hopefully this evening I've made it slightly easier for the majority of you, and the marks that you can get this evening are a lot higher than you did last week. I have a feeling that music round could have demoralised a few people and put a few people off this week, so hopefully not. But yeah, good evening to sort of the 30 we've got on YouTube already and about 20 on Facebook. No doubt, hopefully those numbers will start to rise the closer we get to 8. I just was on the phone to the club chairman again sort of 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, and he informed me that we're sort of well over the £200 mark now for donations kindly made by the local community, which is brilliant. Again, a massive thank you to those and every one of you who've made a donation, big or small, over the past 4 or 5 weeks. It's going a long way to helping the club, which is hugely appreciated, so thank you very much. The format this evening will be quite similar. 5 rounds once again. A couple of those rounds will be me reading them as normal, and then 3 of the rounds will be on a PowerPoint presentation that you'll be able to see on my screen, which will then transfer onto your iPads or your TVs or your phones that you might be watching on. So it's nothing for you to worry about. It may be beneficial for a majority of you to, if you can, play on YouTube. When I do go onto the PowerPoint presentation, it's always better if things are slightly bigger. So if you do have a smart TV, if you just search for Thongsbridge Cricket Club, then you'll be able to find the live stream. And when we do go onto the PowerPoint presentation, you'll be able to see those particular rounds just a little bit more clearly. The comments are starting to come in, which is great. Just a reminder for those people that have been doing it week on week that at the end of each couple of rounds, when we mark the rounds, I enjoy reading your team names as well as your marks, so feel free to start thinking of a bit of a team name. I've had quite a few messages this week saying that a lot more of them are starting to play against other families via sort of streaming calls, messenger calls, Zoom calls, which is great. So if you're doing that this evening, let me know if you're playing against another family or some friends that you may know. I like the competitive edge to it, but again, these quizzes are just purely just for the local community and people who may join in from further afield, just for a bit of entertainment during these sort of lockdown times. Okay, just a few messages from the Facebook and YouTube groups. Good evening, Loz and Needham. Good evening, John Powell. Peter Lindley, Jamie Harrison, good evening. YouTube, Lucy Rhodes checking in from Corfu again. You either live there, Lucy, or you're on a really long holiday. I'm not quite sure. You're either stuck there, possibly. But yeah, checking in from all the way at Corfu, brilliant. Maureen Walsh as well from Portugal. It's brilliant to know that people are playing from further afield than just sort of the local area of Home Valley. Ian Edwards, good evening. Louise Bennett, good evening. Back with Penny Woodhead a couple of weeks ago. She was a winner. And James Woodhead. The Spencers are in, good evening. Janet Clapham, good evening. Anne Marshall, good evening. Wendy Kemp, Sarah Power, Claire Aubrey, Abby Wagstaff, my sister. German, good evening, lad. Graham Porter, good evening. Okay, so like I said, last week was quite a tough week. I've aimed to make it a lot easier this week. Not too easy, but just slightly easier so people feel a bit more success. Last week's winners were the Cullen family from Thongsbridge, so well done. I think you got a really positive score last week to be the overall winner, so challenges for the other team to try and beat her this evening and her family. Andrew Wagstaff, good evening. Rumour has it you played a rousing rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone for Sir Captain Tom Moore's birthday on Long's Bank and during the clap for the NHS, so hats off if you did that. I'd have loved to have seen a video. Jonathan Hill, good evening. Meg Harris, good evening. Claire Walton, good evening. Isabel Healy, hi from Henry's Angels. Ryan Taylor, good evening. Lauren Ravenhill, good evening. Lucy Rhodes says that she's lived in Corfu for 12 years, but originally from Honley. Good evening. Anyone else? Andrew Ravenhill and Tom Ravenhill, I presume. No doubt he's tucking into a pizza or an Indian right now. The Ravenhills are playing against Pam. Who else have we got? Will Reeves, good evening, lad. Joe Elwood, good evening. Matt Wagstaff, good evening. Checking in from Spain. That's another European location we've got coming in. My auntie and uncle, good evening from Manchester. Jason Boyd, a regular, good evening. Quarantine team are in the Thongsbridge house, good evening. Okay, I'll just give it a few more minutes, sort of we'll start just after 8 o'clock, just to let those last few people come in. With the numbers there do tend to sort of build around about 8 o'clock, so I'll just let the last few people sort of join in. Up to about 60 on Facebook and a little bit lower on about 60 on YouTube and 40 on Facebook, so a little bit lower than normal. I have just had confirmation that Tom Ravenhill is tucking into a pizza at Domino's. No doubt that'll be gone in 5 minutes. Some more team names coming in. Team Unicycle, Lehan Barron, good evening. Bazza and Warren. And Marriott Brown, hey, good evening. Hayley, good evening. Okay, so like I mentioned, for those that may have just joined a little bit later than at the start, 5 rounds again this evening. The rounds range from sort of between 10 and 15 questions. There is a picture round this evening, which you'll see sort of the second round. I'm going to do that. The first round, which I tend to do, is just general knowledge. There are 12 questions. Hopefully, again, like I said, slightly easier to answer. But yeah, for those that are just joining now, just a massive thank you to anyone who has donated very kindly some money to the club. In no way was that expected, but massive thank you to everyone that has. Tony Robray, first team coach, good evening. Yeah, Hayley is the first one to recognise our new light shades. Yeah, gone a bit crazy on Amazon this week. Think they suit quite well. Thanks for noticing, Hayley. Diane Walker, good evening. Paul France, Heidi, Paul and Cameron, good evening. The French Collection. Janet Clapham and Phil, here with friends on Zoom. Ryan Taylor, team name Queensbury Galician. Philip Warrender, the best leg spinner in the league. Good evening, Wiz. Right, so we'll make a start at 8:05. Just another couple of minutes just to get your drinks filled up. Nip to the loo if you need it. Get a pen and paper ready. And we're back in a couple of minutes. Right then, I think it's about time I made a start. The first round this evening is general knowledge. I've got a quick message from Ricky Marshall. Sorry for not saying hello. Good evening. Tom Ravenhill's just texted me saying that the Dominoes was his starter, so I'm not really sure what he's having for his main. But yeah, back to the quiz. The first round, like I said, is general knowledge. 12 questions in the first round. Pens and paper at the ready. Let's make a start. So question number 1 in general knowledge. What are made and repaired by a cobbler? So what are made and repaired by a cobbler? Question number 2. What colour are the 4 stars on the flag of New Zealand? What colour are the 4 stars on the flag of New Zealand? Question 3. Comedy duo Ant and Dec are originally from which English city? Comedy duo Ant and Dec are originally from which English city? Question 4. In the medical profession, what do the initials GP stand for? So in the medical profession, what do the initials GP stand for? Question 5. In London, what can be found at Spitalfields, Portobello Road and Camden? In London, what can be found at Spitalfields, Portobello Road and Camden? Question 6. What colour flag is awarded to a beach that meets the highest standards for cleanliness, safety and water quality? Question 6 again. What colour flag is awarded to a beach that meets the highest standards for cleanliness, safety and water quality? Question 7. TV comedy Dad's Army was set during which conflict? TV comedy Dad's Army was set during which conflict? Question 8. The phrase 3 strikes and you're out originates from which sport? The phrase 3 strikes and you're out originates from which sport? Question 9. Nora Batty was a character in which long-running TV show? So Nora Batty was a character in which long-running TV show? Question 10. The underwater city of Bikini Bottom is the setting for which popular children's cartoon? The underwater city of Bikini Bottom is the setting for which popular children's cartoon? Question 11. What name is shared by a brass musical instrument and a type of ice cream cone? So what name is shared by a brass musical instrument and a type of ice cream cone? And the last question of general knowledge, first round. Question 12. What is the national flower of Wales? What is the national flower of Wales? Okay, I'll just read through those 12 questions again. So if you missed any, just listen out carefully. I'll read through each one now. So question 1, what are made and repaired by a cobbler? Question 2, what colour are the 4 stars on the flag of New Zealand? Comedy duo Ant and Dec are originally from which English city? Question 4, in the medical profession, what do the initials GP stand for? Question 5, in London, what can be found at Spitalfields, Portobello Road and Camden? Question 6, what colour flag is awarded to a beach that meets the highest standards for cleanliness, safety and water quality? Question 7, TV comedy Dad's Army was set during which conflict? Question 8, the phrase 3 strikes and you're out originates from which sport? Question 9, Nora Batty was a character in which long-running TV show? Question 10, The underwater city of Bikini Bottom is the setting for which popular children's cartoon? Question 11. What is the name shared by a brass musical instrument and a type of ice cream cone? And the last question, what is the national flower of Wales? Okay, I'll just give you 30 seconds. We are going to mark those answers first this evening. I know I normally leave it 2 rounds before marking the first round, but we are going to answer those first this evening. So I'll give you another 20 seconds or so just to finish off your answers and then be ready to mark your own answers. Just while you're doing that, a few people have joined since we started. So good evening to Leo, good evening to Pete Brammer, Kieran Buckley, good evening. Quentin Quarantino, very good. David Houghton, good evening. Serena Hurst. Team Willow, good evening. I don't know if that's an inside joke from or an inside name from your end, or it's in relation to my dog. I don't know. Good evening, Richard Wagstaff. Okay, so let's go through those answers for the first 12 questions. Seems like people are okay to carry on. There's no one saying they want any questions repeating. Okay, so answers then, mark your own, please. Number 1, what are made and repaired by a cobbler? It's shoes. Question 2, what colour are the 4 stars on the flag of New Zealand? They are red. Question 3, which comedy duo Ant and Dec are originally from which English city? It's Newcastle. Question 4, in the medical profession, what do the initials GP stand for? It's General Practitioner. Question 5, in London, what can be found at Spitalfields, Portobello Road and Camden? You would find a market. Question 6, what colour flag is awarded to a beach that meets the highest standards for cleanliness, safety and water quality? The flag would be blue. Question 7, World War II was the conflict that Dad's army was set in. Number 8 rather. The phrase 3 strikes and you're out originates from which sport? It is baseball. Question 9. Nora Batty was a character in Last of the Summer Wine. Question 1, Isabel, for you was shoes. They make and repair shoes. Question 10. The underwater city of Bikini Bottom is the setting for which popular children's cartoon? It was SpongeBob SquarePants. Question 11. What name is shared by a brass musical instrument and a type of ice cream cone? It's a cornet. Question 12. What is the national flower of Wales? It is a daffodil. So let's have our first marks out of 12, please, as well as your team name. I think I'm going to expect some quite high marks there. Wouldn't be surprised if someone's got 12 out of 12. And there's the first one. Kieran Buckley, 12 out of 12. An avid quizzer himself and his wife. Yeah, Paul France, 12 out of 12. Any from YouTube? Yeah, Kieran O'Shea, 12 out of 12. Got the runs. Jamie Harrison, Quarantino, 11. Jason Boyd, Quarantine, 11. My auntie and uncle Malcolm and Sarah, 10. Eton Mess, 10. Lots of high scores, yeah. 12s out of 10, 11s out of 10, good. Serena Hurst, 11 out of 12. Tony Robbery, full house. Brilliant. Okay, so it's this part of the quiz that I'm going to move over to the PowerPoint. So then the next round is a picture round. So just bear with me 1 minute and I'll transfer over to the PowerPoint. For those that haven't done this before, it's just me showing my screen. So let's go on now. Okay, so what you should see here now then, and this should go down an absolute storm with a lot of the lads who play in the first and second team, because I know they absolutely love chocolate. These 20 pictures are chocolate bars cut down the middle, and your task is to figure out which chocolate bar that it is. So I'm expecting full marks from Joe Elwood, I'm expecting full marks from Ricky Marshall, I'm expecting full marks from the Ravenhills. You are going to have 10 minutes to see if you can identify as many chocolate bars as you can. Now, I can't see any of the comments on YouTube, so apologies in the next 10 minutes if you struggle with something. I can only see now the comments on Facebook. So, again, 10 minutes. Can you name as many chocolate bars as you can? And Joe Elwood, if you get less than 20 out of 20, you need to have a hard, long look at yourself. 10 minutes starts now. Just gone 5 minutes left. Three minutes left. Once you've finished, feel free to put a comment in the group or the box to say that you've done. I can see on Facebook and YouTube comments now. I've worked out how to do it, so feel free to put a comment when you think you've finished. Leanne Barron saying, is it bad that her team know all of them? Of course it's not bad. Chocolate's absolutely world class. Two minutes left. 2 minutes. Final minute. 1 minute countdown. 1 minute left. Okay, that's your time up. So we shall go through these answers. So I'll be kind and giving you a sort of another 10 seconds just to finish off your last picture that you might have got. Lauren, these are not primary source pictures. Good joke though. Okay, so let's move on to the answers of these. I'll be impressed if you get sort of over half of these. Good knowledge on the chocolate front. A couple of people saying that they're allergic to chocolate. Dave Houghton, I'm sorry, giving you nightmares and bad dreams as a child. Graham Porter, he's diabetic, and therefore it's unfair to him, he thinks. But yeah, so answers for the chocolate round. Let's hope this works. So on the next page, we'll bring up the first 8 answers when it decides to go to the next page. Hopefully, here we go. Okay, so the first 8 are there. So number 1 is a Bounty bar. Number 2, Lion. Number 3, a Mars bar. Number 4, Reese's Nut Bar. Number 5, a personal favourite, Double Decker. Number 6, a Topic. And number 7, looks very similar to a Boost, I might add, is a Star Bar. Number 8, Kit Kat Chunky. And number 9 to 20. Number 9 is a Yorkie. 10, Peppermint Aero Bar. 11, Whisper Gold. 12, Boost. 13, Tom Ravenell's favourite, a Snickers or 3. 14, Milky Way. 15, Fudge Bar. 16, Toffee Crisp. 17, Cadbury's Caramel. 18, never had one, Turkish Delight. 19 is a Picnic Bar. And 20, another personal favourite, a Crunchy. Andrea, I shall accept Kit Kat for number 8. Yeah, I'll accept Kit Kat. Team. Kieran Buckley, 16 out of 20. Lauren Ravenell got all of them, but all in the wrong order. Dave Houghton, 13 out of 20. Pretty good effort. Penny Woodhead, 15. Quiz Khalifa, very good. 16 out of 20. Chris Howitt, 11. Dan Northcott. What was that? Dan Northcott, 11, I think he said. Paul France, 16 out of 20. Have a quick look on. Oh, that's the YouTube stream coming through. Quick look on YouTube. Wonky Donkey, Jonathan Hill, 15 out of 20. Quarantino, 13 out of 20. Andrew Wagstaff, 16. Cambridge Crew, 11. Robert Shepperson. Uncle, 10. Very good. So some high scores again. Who else have we got? Joe Aylward, of course he did. I mean, I don't know to believe him, but I would not put it past him, this being correct. Joe Aylward, 20 out of 20, of course he did. Caroline Bamforth, Billy No Mates, 13 out of 20. Janet Clapham, 15 out of 20. Seth Gill, 14. Okay, brilliant. So we shall continue with the PowerPoint. The next round is based on TV films. However, these TV shows rather, are all anagrams. So each of these anagrams are based on a TV show. And the number in the brackets is how many words the answer is. So the first one will be a two-worded answer, and so on. Again, you'll have 10 minutes, and you are looking to work out as many of these anagrams based on a TV show. Some are still running to this day. Some may have stopped filming, but the majority of them are still running. I think the majority of them are. So, TV shows, anagrams, reshuffle the words. Can you make a TV show out of the letters that you can see in front of you? Again, the number in the brackets is how many words the answer will be. Another 10 minutes of me shutting up. My life is easy this evening. 10 minutes. Off you go. With 2 minutes left, I've just noticed my first error of this evening. On number 9, the answer will be 3 words, not 4, as it states in brackets. So, yeah, number 9 will be 3 words, not 4. Okay, 1 minute left. 1 minute to go. Try and get as many as you can. I'm frantically looking and checking the other ones to make sure I've not made any more mistakes, but I'm pretty sure that they are all correct, the rest of them. So yeah, just to repeat, number 9 is 3 words, not 4. Last 5 seconds. Okay, and stop there. Okay, so TV shows, anagrams, that round is done. We shall move on to the answers of this round. Again, impressive if anyone gets sort of 8 and above. Really well done. Dave Houghton saying that he needs 3 days for this round. I also noticed a comment in there from Joe Reeves. Shout out, someone's been sick on Zoom. I mean, I've heard rumours of some sort of drinking game that might be happening between a group of the first team and second team lads. I have no idea what the rules of those or of that drinking game might be, but good luck to you all. So yeah, TV shows, anagrams. Let's start to mark these. You'll see the first 5 first when the PowerPoint just moves over. It takes just a few seconds. Okay, so the first 5 are there. Number 1, Blue Peter. Number 2, Question Time. Number 3, EastEnders. Number 4, Big Brother. Number 5, Sex and the City. Number 6, Have I Got News for You? No. Number 9 was 4 words, dearie me. Question 7, Ready, Steady, Cook. Question 8, Love Island, number 9, yeah. So I'm going back on my error that I thought was an error, but it wasn't an error. It was a question of sport, number 9. And the last question, who wants to be a millionaire? Okay, so just leave those answers up for a few more seconds. And just start to put your answers in the boxes. 7 out of 10 for Paul France, 8 out of 10 for Kieran Buckley. Apologies, just putting the cat out. 9 out of 10 for Dave Houghton. Good effort. Corona hasn't beaten us yet. Meg Harris, 6 out of 10. Serena Hurst, 7 out of 10. Tony Robry, 8 out of 10. David Wagstaff, is that a legitimate score? 0 out of 10. Janet Clapham, 7 out of 10. Penny Woodhead, Coughheads, 6 out of 10. Right, okay, let's move back to the streaming page. Okay, so that is bright. Wow. Right, so the next round is sport. So there's 2 more rounds to go. This round is a sport round, and there are 12 questions on this sport round. Again, I've tried to make them slightly easier than last week, but I think so far so good in terms of sort of marks and scores. People seem to be getting a reasonably high score. So, question 1 on sport round. Who is the only player to have scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final? So, who is the only player to have scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final? Let's get these lights adjusted. Question 2. Often seen at the beginning of sporting events, what is the Maori celebratory war dance called? So often seen at the beginning of a sporting event, what is the Maori celebratory war dance called? Jonathan Hill's saying that he thinks the sound is gone. I've had no other comments saying that it's struggling for others. So just a quick check. Can people still hear me okay? Andrew Wagstaff, thanks, saying the sound is on. So might just be you, Jonathan, at the minute. Okay, we'll move on. Question 3 is worth 2 marks. Bonus point on this question. At which Winter Olympics Games did Torval and Dean win gold? So you'll just get 1 mark for the location of the Olympic Games, and then you'll get a bonus mark for the year of that particular Olympics. So at which Winter Olympic Games did Torval and Dean win gold? So 1 mark for the location of the Olympics and 1 mark for the year that those Olympics were held. Question 4. Which football team play their home games at the King Power Stadium? So which football team play their home games at the King Power Stadium? Question 5. Who is the only English batsman to have scored over 12,000 test runs? So who is the only English batsman to have scored over 12,000 runs? Question 6. There are a total of 4 marks for this question. 1 mark for each of the correct answers you may get. You don't have to get a certain amount to get 1 mark, just 1 mark per answer. So which 4 events make up the tennis Grand Slam? So which 4 events make up the tennis Grand Slam? I'll just give you a few more seconds to answer that one. So again, question 6. Which 4 events make up the tennis Grand Slam? Question 7. In boxing, what does the abbreviation TKO stand for? So in boxing, what does the abbreviation TKO stand for? Question 8. Which 2 Premiership football teams start and finish with the same letter? So which 2 Premiership football teams start and finish with the same letter? Question 9. What is the object called in ice hockey that is hit along the ice? So what is the object in ice hockey called that is hit along the ice? Question 10. Which is the only horse to have won the Grand National 3 times? So which is the only horse to have won the Grand National 3 times? Question 11. The Oval Cricket Ground is home to which English county cricket club? So the Oval Cricket Ground is home to which English county cricket club? And question 12. What colour flag in Formula 1 indicates a driver disqualification? So last question, what colour flag in Formula 1 indicates a driver disqualification? Okay, I'll just repeat those 12 questions again for you. Question 1, who is the only player to have scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final? Question 2, often seen at the beginning of a sporting event, what is the Maori celebratory war dance called? Question 3, at which Winter Olympics did Torval and Dean win gold? So you've got 1 mark for the Olympic City and another mark for the year of that Olympics. Question 4, which football team play their home games at the King Power Stadium? And question 5, who is the only English batsman to have scored over 12,000 test runs? Question 6, 4 marks on offer. Which 4 events make up the tennis Grand Slam? Question 7, in boxing, what does the abbreviation TKO stand for? Question 8, which 2 Premiership football teams start and finish with the same letter? So just to clarify, I think Mandy Williams put a comment there. There'll be 1 Premiership team that start and end with the same letter, and another team that will start with a different letter, but that team will then end in the same letter. But they're the only two teams in the Premiership to have a team name that starts and ends in the same letter. Question 9. What is the object called in ice hockey that is hit along the ice? Question 10. Which is the only horse to win the Grand National 3 times? Question 11. The Oval Cricket Ground is home to which English county cricket club? And question 12. What flag in Formula 1 indicates a driver disqualification? Just give you a few seconds and then we shall go through those answers. A couple of people saying in the Facebook group that they don't think they've dropped a mark in this round. Good effort if that's the case. We've had a rumour of a reporting of someone having been sick during the drinking game. Interesting. I won't name names. If you're really interested, you could go on the Facebook chat. I've genuinely no idea what is causing the sort of reason to drink. It must be something that I'm saying or doing or seeing in the stream, maybe. Question 4 was which football team play their home games at the King Power Stadium? Okay, so let's go through the answers and then we'll move on to the final round. Okay, so question 1. Who is the only player to have scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final? It was Geoff Hurst. He scored a hat-trick in a final in the 1966 World Cup. Question 2. Often seen at the beginning of sporting events, what is the Maori celebratory war dance called? It is the haka by the New Zealand rugby team. The haka. Question 3. At which Winter Olympic Games did Torval and Dean win gold? 1 mark for the city, which is Sarajevo. And the year that was 1984. If you get both of those, you get 2 marks. Question 4. Which football team play their home games at the King Power Stadium? It is Leicester City. Question 5. Who is the only English batsman to have scored over 12,000 runs? It's not Tony Robbery, who has scored, I believe, 13,000 runs for various clubs in the Huddersfield League. The answer to that question is Alistair Cook. Question 6, again, is worth 4 marks. Which 4 events make up the Tennis Grand Slam? So the first mark is the Australian Open, the French Open, you can have Roland Garros for that, the US Open, and Wimbledon. So Australian Open, French Open or Roland Garros, US Open and Wimbledon. Question 7. In boxing, what does the abbreviation TKO stand for? It stands for technical knockout. Question 8. Which 2 Premiership football teams start and finish with the same letter? Hopefully I cleared up any confusion, but the answer again is 2 marks for these, so 1 mark for each of the teams. It's Aston Villa and Liverpool. If you get both of those, you get 2 marks. Question 9. What is the object called that is hitting ice hockey along the ice? It's a puck. Question 10. Which is the only horse to win the Grand National 3 times? It's Red Rum. Question 11. The Oval Cricket Ground is home to which English county? It is Surrey Cricket Club. And question 12. Question 12 is, what colour flag in Formula 1 indicates a driver disqualification? It is black. So, marks on offer in that round. Let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 17, if my maths treats me correctly. 17 marks on offer in that round. This keeps going really dark all of a sudden. These new lights are nice, but they're not very bright. So, any marks out of 17? My dad has texted me saying he got 17. Good effort. Tony Coach Robbery, 17 out of 17. Great effort. Jamie Harrison, 16 out of 17. Meg Harris, Corona hasn't beaten us yet. 17 out of 17. Very good. Smashed it. Joanne Powell, 14. Quiz Khalifa, 16 out of 17. Ian Edwards, well done. Penny Woodhead, Coffheads, 14. Very good, Leo. Quarantine Age Mutant Ninja Turtles, 16 out of 17. Paul France, The French Collection, 17 out of 17. Very good. Lots of high marks. Really good. Looking on YouTube. Eton Mess, Phil Clark, 13. Amy Hanley, Steve, Amy and Sol, 15 out of 17. Jonathan Hill, 15. Looks like you got your sound working again. Good. Joanne Powell, 14. Honley Horrors, Loza Needham, 15. Great. Right, so this last round is going to be a real experiment that I hope works. Just bear with me 1 minute while I put some more light on, because when I dim this laptop, it's going to go dark. I know that's probably a bit better. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to move back to the PowerPoint, and this final round is a round called Who Said That? So it is 10 voice clips or voice notes that I'm going to play one at a time, and you've got to work out who the person is that is speaking. A lot of these clips are taken from interviews or of those people just speaking in general, sort of on a TV show or something like that. I'm not going to give any more clues, but you need to work out just from listening to the voice notes who that particular person is. So let's see. And after the first one, if you can just give me a bit of a comment as to whether you can hear it okay. I'll have the volume as loud as possible. So I'm hoping that these will work. Let's go. Okay, bear with me a second. Okay, so here you can see the screen. Your job is to just listen really carefully to the voice recording of that particular person. You've just got to work out who said it. If you've got a TV or a laptop or your phone, get the volume cranked up to full. I'll play each of these twice through, so hopefully you can hear it. But here goes. Let's hope it works.
Russian high command.
Okay, so just let me know if you can hear that. Okay, a few people saying that the sound is fine, which is great. I'll play that one again for you.
Chavez signed the document on behalf of the Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, and General Susloparov signed on behalf of the Russian High Command.
Perfect. Number 2.
So I have to do the running for them, so no, I'm joking. No, I think we've got some great talent in the football club, not just the lads you've seen tonight, but also the younger age groups as well. But they're brilliant.
And again.
So I have to do the running for them, so no, I'm joking. No, I think we've got some great talent in the football club, not just the lads you've seen tonight, but also the younger age groups as well. But they're brilliant.
Number 3.
See, it's much smaller, isn't it? I mean, it was the same height. You know, it would have been up to about there when my father wore it. See, it's much smaller, isn't it? I mean, it was the same height. You know, it would have been up to about there when my father wore it.
Question 4.
50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
Number 5.
Everyone's got bucket lists, of course, but I look forward to it, and also I made sure I was going to be active. I don't know. Difference being was I maybe waking up during the night to put the television on. Difference from what I used to do up at 6 o'clock into training ground. Now I do that, maybe go at 8. Everyone's got bucket lists, of course, but I look forward to it, and also I made sure I was going to be active. I don't know. Difference being was I maybe waking up during the night to put the television on. Difference from what I used to do up at 6 o'clock into training ground. Now I do that, maybe go at 8.
Number 6.
I got a call from my agent. Paul Newman is casting, wants to see you. I go see Paul Newman. I auditioned I read for a part, and he said, I got a call from my agent. Paul Newman is casting, wants to see you. I go see Paul Newman. I auditioned I read for a part, and he said,
Number 7.
I've always been connected to. I always knew who I was, and I never felt the need to follow anyone or to do what anyone else is doing. Even when I was, a teenager, I've always been connected to. I always knew who I was, and I never felt the need to follow anyone or to do what anyone else is doing, even when I was, a teenager.
Question 8.
Because what we want to do is have a show where we wanted our show. When we started our show, we were like, how can we be different? And we were like, everybody walks from a curtain.
Right.
Let's just have them come through the audience.
Right.
Because what we want to do is have a show where we wanted our show. When we started our show, we were like, how can we be different? And we were like, everybody walks from a curtain.
Right.
Let's just have them come through the audience.
Right.
With that one, just ignore the female agreeing in the background. Just focus on the male voice for that one. Question 9.
Some tests, and then a month later he said, "You have the worst diet I've ever met from any patient." So I went, "Okay, so out of the smoking, the drinking, the diet, what do I have to drop?"
Apologies, don't know what happened there. Sorry. Question 9.
Some tests, and then a month later he said, "You have the worst diet I've ever met from any patient." So I went, "Okay, so out of the smoking, the drinking, the diet, what do I have to drop?"
Question 10, last one.
Right, as if it wasn't me as well. And then afterwards, I'm very new to like being on social media. And afterwards, I was like trying to check Twitter, but I didn't have a Twitter account, so I just saw what was on there. If you're not on there, you have a Twitter account. Right, as if it wasn't me as well. And then afterwards, I'm very new to like being on social media. And afterwards, I was like trying to check Twitter, but I didn't have a Twitter account, so I just saw what was on there. If you're not on there, you have a Twitter account.
Okay, so that's all 10 played. If you'd like any repeating, I'll allow sort of one more repeat of any of those if you'd like to. Just get your comments in the box if you want any repeating. Hopefully 2 should have been enough for those. Meg was the first one in with number 3.
See, it's much smaller, isn't it? I mean, it was the same height. You know, it would have been up to about there when my father wore it.
Number 2. In fact, probably easy to go quickly play each one through again. Number 1.
Chavez signed the document on behalf of the Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, and General Susloparov signed on behalf of the Russian High Command.
So I have to do the running for them. So
Number 2.
No, I'm joking. No, I think we've got some great talent in the football club, not just the lads who you've seen tonight, but also the younger age groups as well. But they're brilliant.
Number 4. I've just done 3, so I'll skip to 4.
5 score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
5.
Everyone's got bucket lists, of course, but I look forward to it, and also I made sure I was going to be active. I don't know. Difference being was I maybe waking up during the night to put the television on. Difference from what I used to do up at 6 o'clock into training ground. Now I do that maybe go at 8. I've cut
6.
I got a call from my agent. Paul Newman is casting. Wants to see you. I go see Paul Newman. I audition I read for a part, and he said,
7.
I've always been connected to. I always knew who I was, and I never felt the need to follow anyone or to do what anyone else is doing, even when I was, a teenager.
8.
Because what we want to do is have a show where we wanted our show. When we started our show, we were like, how can we be different? And we were like everybody walks from a curtain.
Right.
Let's just have them come through the audience.
Right.
Number 9. Have I just played 8? I think I did. Yeah. Yeah. Number 9.
Some tests, and then a month later he said, "You have the worst diet I've ever met from any patient." So I went, "Okay, so out of the smoking, the drinking, the diet, what do I have to drop?"
And the last one, number 10.
As if it wasn't me as well, and then afterwards, I'm very new to like being on social media, and afterwards I was like trying to check Twitter, but I didn't have a Twitter account, so I just saw what was on there. If you're not on there, you have a Twitter account.
Okay, so hopefully that's enough repeating for everyone. These will be the last 10 answers of the quiz this evening. Again, impressive if you get a lot of these. Okay, so number 1. Number 1 was Winston Churchill. Number 2, the man himself, Wayne Rooney. Number 3 was Queen Elizabeth, the Queen, the current Queen. Question 4 was Martin Luther King. Number 5, Sir Alex Ferguson. Number 6, one of the slightly tough ones, I think. A really recognisable voice there, Morgan Freeman. Question 7, Beyonce Knowles. Question 8, James Corden. Question 9, Simon Cowell. And the last question was Adele. So that is the final round. Feel free to put your scores into the comments, and we shall move back across to the stream. Okay, so start to post your comments, please. Hopefully you enjoyed that final round. Ian Edwards, 8 out of 10. Good effort. Serena Hurst, 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 for the Homley Horrors. Joanne Powell, 8. No, she's saying she wanted 8 repeats and apologies. Andrew Wagstaff, 7. Jamie Harrison, appreciate that. You've worked out how many it's out of. I think it's a total of 69. It's out of 69 this evening. Anyone beat 53 out of 69? Kieran Buckley, 60. So anyone beat 60? So keep your scores coming in for overall full quiz scores, please, out of 60. 69 rather. Joanne Powell, 54, good effort. 53 for Jonathan Hill. Amy Handley, 55, very good. Alistair Boyd, 62, excellent. So that, I think, is the highest score so far. 62. Hannah Walker, 61. Very good effort, out of 69. Anna Barber, 61. Tony Roberry, 61. Some really good scores this evening, excellent. So I think, who was 62? Where have I lost that? Why have I lost that? Where's it gone? whoever's just got 62, why am I losing it now? Where was it? Alistair Boyd, apologies, there we go, it was on YouTube. Alistair Boyd, 62. Rory France, I'm not buying it, you've not got 68, not a chance. Corona hasn't beaten us yet, Meg Harris, 61, excellent. Okay, so I think that will more or less round it up. Congratulations to Alistair Boyd. Really strong score, 62 out of 69. I think it's evident that it was a little bit easier this week, which is ultimately what I want. I never want it to be too difficult that it puts you off. So yeah, really pleasing to see that a lot of you have got much higher scores this week. Claire Walton coming in a bit late with 64 out of 69. 64 out of 69 for Claire Walton. Congratulations. Yeah, so brilliant. Again, it's not all about winning, but it's great to try and crown some really high scores. So Alistair Boyd ended up second place. But yeah, congratulations to Claire Walton. Well done. 64 out of 69. Only dropped 5 marks across the whole quiz. Excellent. Yeah, thanks for joining. And I appreciate the positive comments that people started to put in. Really, really nice. So I appreciate that. Have a lovely weekend. Again, just a massive thank you to everyone that donated over these last few weeks. A real sort of thank you to you that have done that. I look forward to seeing you next week, same time. Look forward to hopefully sharing it with your family and friends. If you do see my sort of posts knocking around on some community groups, feel free to share those with family and friends and get people on the link. And if you've got an urge for any particular round, feel free to message the club with a suggestion. But yeah, have a lovely weekend. Continue to stay safe, and I shall see you next Friday. Good evening. Thank you very much.